Hello and welcome back to the channel, folks. Heir of Carthage here in Total War Rome 2 at the Battle of Camelodon. It's a mouthful. In any case, it's a fairly balanced map here, especially considering it's Rome 2 in multiplayer. That was part of the reason why you saw a whole lot of Nemeta Senna, because some of the other maps were just pretty horribly unbalanced, or just not very interesting. But I like this one. A little bit of forest. Not crazy, but, you know, pretty basic and fair map. Let's take a look at the Massaesli army. They've got some Gaiatuli horse skirmishers. Man, I got nightmares of Gaiatuli trash stacks attacking me in all of my Carthage campaigns, so seeing these guys might cause me to be a little bit triggered. But yeah, they got the Gaiatuli horse skirmishers. They've got really nice missile damage. They're going to suck in melee, but they're going to be great. Their missiles. They're up against some Thracian horsemen, which are kind of the opposite. They're going to be pretty darn decent in melee, and not quite as effective with their missiles. But nice job here with those spears, really warding these guys out and getting rid of those horse skirmishers. The horse skirmishers are aggressively sticking it to those Thracian nobles. I like it, but then the Thracian slingers here are also putting some hurt on the Gaiatuli, but the Gaiatuli can quickly get some value if they put a lot of hurt on these Thracian nobles. This one here using his headhunt, hoping to get into melee, but that's definitely going to cost him because now that unit's going to be tired. Let's take a look at the rest of the Massaesli army. There's some Desert Vigiles, which is kind of cheap throwaway units up front. We've got a second line of Desert Cohort and Legionaries mixed together. These are like a little bit lesser capable Roman knockoff troops or deserters, whichever way you want to look at it. There's a heavy Numidian skirmisher as the general, so ton of javelin damage there. Only 7 javelins. It's not the higher count, but pretty decent unit all said. Pretty low armor though, but it'll be dangerous to certain units that don't want to take a face full of javelins. We got some armored Numidian riders. These are going to be some pretty nice. Let's see what kind of cav is this here. It's going to be kind of looks like a lancer cav. Yeah, it's a shock cavalry. So we're going to have 3 of those shock cavalry, and they are backed up by some light infantry. So good support here, very aggressive from the Gaiatuli horse skirmishers, and they're certainly getting some work done early. Let's take a look at the rest of the Odryssian army here. It looks like they have slingers up front. You don't see slingers too often from Thrace, but those Odryssians, Thrace, whatever, same thing. So we got spears. There are quite a few nobles here. I see 3 of the nobles and then a front line of the warriors. I mean, Massaesli are not big, tough melee faction. They also tend to like to skirmish. However, don't underestimate the Desert Legionaries and Cohort. They are somewhat robust in the right fights. However, I don't think they're going to love fighting all these Thracian units with the Odryssians. There's a Royal Cav here. Oof, yeah, it's 4 nobles. So Numidia is going to be really having to fight to get rid of these. There's an armored Numidian cavalry here, which is a skirmisher cavalry. It comes with 45 armor, which is really not bad, and some pretty solid melee stats there, and they helped collapse a spear unit out here with the help of some armored desert cavalry and a nice little ambush from the small forested area there. And it looks like the Massaesli are making their way to the hard left flank of the Odryssians and trying to get their army to turn and maybe get them out of position. And oh man, that's a well, it was going to be a nice shock charge. They didn't actually connect. Now they're going to get completely flattened by spears and Thracian nobles. Yikes. That shock cavalry looked like it was about to lay waste, but it just did not connect for some reason. It was like it ran into a hard wall. That was not great for Numidia. However, Numidia did manage to single out that Thracian noble, and that is bad for the Odryssians, because this thing is now alone and probably afraid. I guess I can't speak for that. They would have to be the ones to say whether or not they are actually afraid. A rear charge from that armored desert cavalry would be quite nice over here. The slingers are back, and they are putting some fire into the Numidians. The Numidians are also pouring it back over here into the Thracian nobles, who are once again using the headhunt ability to try and maximize their killing potential. And the Thracian cavalry is now headed towards the unsupported, well, I say unsupported, no longer supported by Gaiatuli left flank. Those horse skirmishers are left far out of play at the moment. Probably a mistake there. These heavy Numidian skirmishers could help return some fire there, but that's an expensive unit to put in the line of fire of those Thracians. And it looks like Thracian Royal Cavalry out here, and it does intercept the armored desert cavalry, but look at this. Javelins into the back of that Thracian noble. That Thracian noble did not do well at all. It's going to need considerably more kills than that to ever be worth it. against this Numidian infantry. The legionaries are taking a hail of slinger fire here, and so are the Vigiles. The Vigiles, though, they will tank that and not make it worth it for the Thracian slingers. However, the Numidian legionaries don't want to sit here and take this forever. I mean, but they are pretty well protected against missiles with their kind of make-believe scutum that they put together there. So Thracian Royal Cav and Nobles out in this fight. It looks like Numidia is going to try and do the overwhelm thing here. The general's moving out, probably hoping to pump these cavalry and nobles full of javelins. That is indeed what it looks like. There's two heavy Numidian skirmishers trying to really pour it into that fight, and it looks like they were kind of avoiding it with their heavy infantry. All right, here comes some Thracian warriors making a push. The Desert Vigiles are going to cut them off. Now, of course, the Thracian warriors will fight their way through that, but if the Numidians play their cards right, they might be able to get engagement. There's a light infantry out here just holding some spears. That Gaiatuli horse skirmisher still just forgotten out there on the flank. There's a rider back there that's come back as well. Thracian noble general is getting hammered by the heavy skirmishers right now. This unit has got to pick a place to fight or run away, because they are getting absolutely lit up right now by javelins. So far, the amount of nobles that have died for the Odryssians is not good. This is really, really good value for the Masazli here to just keep chucking javelins into this fight until they are literally just empty on javelins. There's a lot of expensive targets in there, and the Odryssians just do not have the shields to block much of this, nor the armor. So they will get savaged. But the Masazli general are going to get a little bit caught here on the flank, and it's also going to get peppered by slinger fire as it pulls away. That's going to hurt. That's going to hurt bad. That was a lot of slinger fire coming in. There's 4 slingers. Nice intercept here by the light infantry to just save the general and to get ready for a secondary engagement, most likely coming from the cohorts or the legionaries in that vicinity. There is a quick reload ability dropping now on all 3 heavy skirmishers. Oh, they're going to turn around and javelin dump these guys again. Yikes. So the Odryssians get chewed up. That is going to be 3 out of 4 of their nobles put down without near the number of kills that they need. These ones did better than the first one, but again, these units are going to need like 200 plus kills to probably really pay much of their weight here in the army against the Masazli. So I would say the Masazli got the better of that. These 4 slingers are still very much a problem. Their ammunition won't last forever, though, and if the Masazli are smart with their remaining troops and how they engage them, look at this, Thracian warrior now going to get absolutely pelted by these peltists. Whew! Man, so many Romphia-wielding warriors are going to be going down today to all that fire. Looks like the heavy skirmishers are now out of ammunition and engaging in melee to block the Thracian warriors, and then probably rely on the desert cohort to try and finish them. Still some javelins over here on this Numidian skirmisher. They were firing at the nobles already as well. And then look at this light infantry back here chucking javelins in and just distracting as well. So very well played. But man, those slingers, they are definitely taking a toll. Decent number of cohorts left. Those Gaiatuli horse skirmishers decided to come back, and they now have the attention of the Thracian cavalry. This is still a pretty close fight, though, folks. Again, the Masazli are just not that sterling in combat, and it's going to really depend on a few things here. Not a lot of melee left, though, for the Odryssian Kingdom, and there is quite a bit of melee left for the Masazli. Feel like the Masazli should be able to roll through this. Some of the slingers, yeah, they're out of ammo. Yeah, it's not good. Definitely not good. The Thracians, they're going to get collapsed on here and crushed. It looks like we're going to get a Thracian warrior. It's going to charge that blob, but then they're going to get countered by a Desert Legionary. Just kind of see how this plays out. Okay, yeah, the Desert Legionary gets a really nice javelin volley. That unit's going to start depleted all the way to 82, and then remember that their hit points could be well under half at this point, depending on exactly what we don't see hit points, right? We see the number of units. It's going to be supported by a heavy Numidian skirmisher. I like that play. Those Thracian warriors probably won't win that fight, and now at this point, that's going to leave the Thracian nobles at only 87 entities to fight off 108 desert cohort and quite a few heavy skirmishers and 81 more desert cohort. So I feel like that, yeah, Masazli is just going to carry this one on home. So, fun battle. I mean, a lot of attrition here between... Oh, there's another Desert Legionary up there as well. Yeah, the Odryssians are going to get buried in the Desert Legions here, I believe. Unless this Noble just pulls off one of the most stellar performances that we've ever seen, and I just don't see that happening here with it being that outnumbered. Never know. We'll see. They are racking up kills at a pretty alarming pace. Yikes. I don't know if they had a charge bonus going on. I don't think they do. I think they're just absolutely waylaying these Numidians. They're getting a tremendous number of kills, all things considered right there, but they are massively outnumbered and surrounded. So it should send them packing. But that was a pretty stellar performance, all things considered, there at the end of that fight. Well played by Sol and the Misazli, but Andre there with the Odryssians making it close till the end. A couple of small changes there, and I think that battle could have swung the other way potentially. Those slingers, man, they were working Sol's army the entire time. And they did take a toll. It wasn't quite enough in the end, but it was a pretty stiff toll. I honestly guess that probably where it went south here for the Odryssians was that one noble that got engaged too early. If that was somehow able to be avoided, then it makes you wonder again at that point, would the Misazli have been able to pull off enough efficiency to get it done? Nice work with the heavy skirmishers here by Sol. They got some really important kills because these desert cohorts and legionaries are not going to be able to mow down the Thracian warriors head on. And the Vigiles here, a pretty important unit, all things considered. They absorbed a whole lot of javelin fire. Not a job that someone wants or looks forward to, but it is an important job. And those Numidian light infantry, look at this one here, 120 kills. Again, good job intercepting, throwing those javelins in there, and making way for the heavier units. And let's take a look at the nobles. 157 kills, looks like the highest one of them got. And I think this is the one right here at the end that got just up over 100 there in the last few seconds. So anyway, good game to both players. Hope you all enjoyed it. HeirofCarthage signing out for now. I'll see you soon with some more action in Total War Rome 2 coming up quick.